Good morning, wonderful morning, blessed morning, great morning. Today is a great day. Today is going to be one of the best days of your life. I declare that over you. I speak that over you. I believe that for you. So many times, like, we can wake up and just not feel it and just not. But when you begin to declare the opposite of what you feel, it's like I can't even explain it. It's like you're rejecting what is being presented to you, and you're confronting it. At the same time, you're conquering it. At the same time, you're subduing it, and calling it subject to you. You're declaring what it is that you want to see manifest. You're declaring what it is that you want to happen in that moment at that time. And it's a very powerful thing, especially when you're declaring the word of God, because the word of God is active, is living, is powerful. It holds so much weight, like literally. But a lot of times, sometimes we don't feel like, or we don't even think about, like, it's like the farthest thing from our mind, like to pray or to praise or to get into that space. And so it could be challenging some days, and some days it could be easier than others. But to really just, like, life is made up of choices. Life is made up of decisions. And the choices that we make shape who we are and those that are around us, and what we see and what manifests, and what we are going to prosper in, or what we're going to be defeated in, or whatever it is. Death and life lies in the power of the tongue. So whatever we speak, we're going to eat the fruit of what we speak. Whatever it is, sometimes we unwillingly, or not on purpose, but sometimes we speak things and we declare things, not meaning to bring harm to ourselves, but we do, because that's what our heart feels, because that's what we believe. And so getting to a point to where your choices are intent, your choices are motivated by pure intentions, is like a daily process, you really have to stab at it, you really got to work at it. And that is something that I'm learning, that's something that I'm growing in. I'm not perfect, not by any means am I perfect, but I'm striving for maturity. I'm striving for growth. I want growth in every aspect, in every area of my life, especially those that are the weakest, especially those that tend to bring me to a low place. Those are the areas that I want to be strengthened and heightened, and I want to walk in clarity and wisdom in those areas. So this particular day, I don't know what it was. I just didn't. It was like a blank day for me, to fill in the blank sort of day. And so I just began to speak. Before I even spoke it, I began to write it out. I wrote it in a notepad, and I wrote out what I want to see, or what I desire to see. And as I began to write it, I read it, and then I went back and I reread it, and then I reread it, and it's like it became a part of me, and it's like it did something internally. So before I even got on here, when I got on here, I had the intention of, I want to encourage somebody, I want to uplift somebody. And a lot of the times, I know when I do these videos, I'm speaking to myself the same time I'm speaking to you. Like, the words that are coming out of my mouth are encouraging me, are edifying me. So it's a two-edged sword. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like it's cutting into me what I want to see, what I want manifested, and it's also helping someone else. So I believe that today, as I spoke earlier, is going to be a great day. It's going to be a blessed day. It's going to be a wonderful day, a day in which the Lord has made that you can rejoice in. That you can rejoice in, not because you're religious, not because you're super spiritual, but just because you have a change of heart, you have a change of mind, like your perception has shifted, your perception has changed. And I declare that over your life, that no longer will you see things the same. I declare that no longer will what you see determine what you speak. I declare that everything that has been tormenting you, everything that has been coming to throw you off a course and get you out of alignment and to break you, I declare that you are conquering it. I declare that you have the faith, that you have the ability to confront it. And as you confront it, you're subduing it. And it's coming subject to you. And it's coming subject to the words that you speak and the faith that you believe. Because as you believe, you speak. Whatever's in your heart, you're going to speak. Whether it be negative, whether it be positive, whether it's encouraging, whether it's discouraging, whatever it is in your heart is going to be released from your mouth. It's going to be spoken in one form or another, whether you speak it indirectly or directly. And I learned this just by analyzing myself, by looking at the pattern of my life, by looking at the pattern of what I do and what I don't do, by looking at things that manifest and develop in a great way, in a major way. I go back and I reflect on that. What did I do differently? Things that manifest in a bad way, things that manifest negatively, that bring a negative outcome. I reflect on that, especially those I hone in on, because I want to make it better, because I want to have a different outcome. I don't want to have the same outcome every time. I don't want to keep going through the same cycle, the same thing on repeat. I want something different to manifest in my life. And I want it to be great, and I want it to be excellent, and I want to look back on my life and reflect and see and say, okay, yeah, I see where you've grown. I see where you've matured in that. I see where you don't let that bother you like it used to bother you. And I learned a very important lesson on yesterday. Yesterday, I believe and I feel like God wanted me to get out of a place to where I'm so wrapped up and I'm so concerned with people and what they think and what they say. I believe that He really just broke that off of me. I believe that seeing, because I saw things, I've been doing things, I'm being consistent in what He's calling me to do. I'm being consistent in the lane that He's calling me to ride in, to drive in. And I literally can feel and sense the shift. And so I saw, pushback. I saw adversity. I saw opposition. And I immediately wanted to defend and confront. And that's not how God wanted it to be. For everything for every adversity and every opposition, He wanted me to bring it to Him. He wanted me to pray to Him. He wanted me to give it over to Him because He cares for me. And so in that particular moment, I had a decision whether or not I wanted to give in to my feelings and my emotions, negative emotions, or whether I wanted to just really just lift them up. And so I was negative in an aspect of giving them energy that they didn't even need. Trying to defend myself when He's my defender, when He is my rock, when he is the one that really just fights for me, literally fights for me, if I will stand still and stop trying to fight. Because one thing about it with me, I went through some traumatic things, which a lot of us have, and having control taken away from you at a young age, you grow up trying to control everything, especially things that happen to you, especially things that affect you. So, with that being said, I could see where that's where he wants me to develop. I could see where that's where he wants me to really just depend on him in that moment at that time. I could see that. I could see that today. I could see that now. But I didn't pass the test yesterday. I went and defended myself. And then when I look back at it, and then I reflected back on it at the end of the day, okay, God, oh yeah, I see now. Okay. If I wasn't concerned and wrapped up with people's opinions, I wouldn't even made a decision to try to defend myself. I would have just let it be and let them think what they think and let what may be or what may seem just be. Because regardless, I belong to him. Because regardless, I'm a part of him. Because regardless, I'm one with him. And I reflect him. And I don't want my reflection of him to be tarnished. I don't want my reflection of him to have me in it. Unless he wants me in it. Unless he wants to reflect that part of me. So that somebody else can be helped. So that somebody else can see, okay, yeah, she made it. I know her. She made it. Like, God doing that in her life? Like, yeah, I want him to do that in my life. Like, yeah, what she got going on? I want to know. I want to see. I want to be a part of that. That's where I'm at. That's where my heart is at. That's where my mind is at. I want people to be drawn to him. Sometimes I want it so bad. Like, I want people to experience him in the greatest magnitude. Like, sometimes I want people to know him the way that I know him, to experience the things that he's poured into me, the things that he's given to me, the love, the joy, the peace. Like, when I say joy, I'm not talking about being happy and smiling and because you got money or because things are working out or things are lining up. I'm talking about everything is chaotic. Nothing looks right. Nothing's going right. You about to pull your hair out. And he just he puts you in a situation where you see just the craziest thing and all you could do is laugh. All you feel is joy. This overwhelming feeling of joy. Like, it's inexpressible. It's like a high. It's like a high. And that peace, like, I can't even explain it. It doesn't even have a definition. I can't even explain the emotion of peace. It's not even an emotion. Like, it's literally just something that when you lean into God to a certain extent and to a certain place, despite what you're feeling, despite what's going on, despite everything around you, your atmosphere, your environment, it's just like, oh, I'm good. I'm content. That's the magnitude. That's the strength. That's it. But y'all, this is part 1 of I don't know how many videos, but I will be back to continue this saga, or this revelation. Hey y'all, I'm back. So I left off with talking about peace, joy. Well, I know I touched on both of those, but and love. Okay, and so the love that I receive is not like something where somebody compliments you and it makes you feel flustered, or somebody tells you they love you, or somebody hugs you, or somebody kisses you, or It's like a love to where you ain't even being touched except for inside your soul, except for inside your being, except for mentally, emotionally, like literally inside your soul. And to feel that, to experience that is beyond my comprehension. Like the love of God is, oh my God. And then it's never ending. It's not just an amount of it, a certain amount of it, and then it's like it's gone. It's like it's as much as you can take at that moment, because that's what were originally intended or created for. We are his creation. We were created to be with him, to be in covenant with him, to be in relationship with him, to be loved by him, to be cherished by him. And so we were born in iniquity, we were shaped in iniquity, but all at the same time, life happened. Things happened. Things really just took us, shook us, and broke us down, or either took us off of course or took us away from the original intent, the original meaning of life itself, of who we actually were supposed to be. A lot of us get shaken to the point of where we don't even know who we are anymore. And we take the world and we take society's viewpoint or their advantage of, you look like this, you talk like this is who you are. But really, in actuality, I really found out my true self. The closer I get to God, the more I find out who I really am. The more I find out who he really identified me to be, and the people that I'm meant to impact. Because everybody that's placed on this earth impacts everybody around them at one point or another in their life. Whether it's good or bad, it don't matter. There's an impact being made every day, every minute, every second. And so, like, when I started to realize that, it was like, okay, yeah, I want to be on the positive spectrum of that. I want to be on the positive end of that. And so, you know, it really just took me receiving. But going back to what I said about love, like, because we were born this way, because life happened, we tend to not really be receptive to the love of God. Like, we're more receptive to a physical touch, or a hug, or a kiss, or like verbal affirmations, versus feeling the love of God, because it's completely outside of what we know. It's completely outside of what we grew up around, like what we grew up knowing. Unless, take that back, let me edit that. Unless you grew up in a household where your parents already have experienced that, and now they're passing it down. They're making it a part of their lineage. They're making it generational. And they're teaching you how to have your own relationship. And they're teaching you what it means to actually experience God for yourself. Then that's different. Because then you grow up, and then and it makes it that more impactful. The earlier you get it, the greater the impact of your relationship. Because a lot of people, they don't get it until they get older. A lot of people don't really seek, like, search their soul and really just try to figure out what's going on with them and the world around them until they get up in age. Just being honest, I've seen it time and time and time again, countless times I've seen it. So, like 90% of Americans around the world, across the globe, people don't normally get it until they get up in age. So to get it at a young age, as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, mid-age adult, whatever, you know, the earlier you get it, the better off it is. But whenever you get it. That's the advantage. That's the point. Whenever you get it. So, and all of that, and saying all of that, having the love of God, having the peace of God, the joy of God is something that can help you when you start to walk in your purpose, that can help you when you start to do what it is that he's calling you to do. And whatever it is he's calling you to do is going to require consistency. It's going to require faithfulness to whatever it is. It's going to require you to complete it. It's going to require, to whom much is given, much is required. It's going to require you to come up out of yourself and really just lean into him, depend on him, glean from him, learn of him, learn of his ways, learn what it is that he desires for you to do. Because everybody has something different. Everybody's born different. Everybody has a unique talent, a unique gifting. We made that. We created that way. Ain't nobody the same. Ain't no two people the same. We may be in a similar lane. We may be going down the same road or going towards the same direction, but we're not the same in no way, shape, form, or fashion. We're all different. We're all made different. We're all created different. So going back into the testimony that I was telling you about, after I got that revelation that, I want you to come out of what people think and really just be at peace with what I want you to be. Hone into what it is that I think of you, what it is that I say about you. That just brought me back where I needed to be. It just brought me back in the covenant. It just brought me back into, it just reconciled me. Like, that's been my testimony of my life. Like, I make mistakes. I go the wrong way. I might be on this path. God got me on this path, and I'm like, okay, I'm at a fork in the road. And I'm like, which way do I go? No matter how long you've been living, you always got to depend on him. And that's one thing that I'm learning. And so I might veer off and go the wrong way. And then he nudging me like, hey, come back this way. This way. Let's go this way. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to say. This has the greater impact. This will give you momentum. This will carry you where I want you to be. This will take you beyond what you're experiencing now. And once I realized that, once I got that, it made life easier. But I'm always trying to find how I can stay a course, because a lot of the times I'm in a place or in a predicament where I have to challenge myself. I got to confront myself because me gets in the way. Like, God may say, yeah, I want you to do this. This will make a great impact. But then the whole while in my mind and myself, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And he gives us free will. And so when we do it, we out of joint, we out of place, we out of alignment. Until something happens, until it's uncomfortable, until there's discomfort. And then it's like, oh, yeah, let me do it his way, because this ain't working. Story of my life. So that's what I mean by reconciliation. I don't want to just be saying stuff and y'all like, what is she talking about? I don't understand. So yeah. But getting to that place, getting to that point has been a saving grace for me. And it has really helped me to grow. And I will be back again. And I am back. So I'm working and I'm just flowing from the Spirit. Like, whatever he's telling me to do, like, I'm just like, Lord, whatever you would have me to do this day, I want to glorify you. I want you to get the glory out of this vessel, out of my mouth, out of what I do. Just let it be. Let it impact somebody's life. Let somebody get to know you on a greater level, in a deeper depth. You know what I mean? Like, where they've been struggling at, where they need help at, like, give them that extra oomph, give them that what they need. You know what I mean? But it's like he's there, and he like his hands is wide, like he's there, like his hands are like, I'm here, like I got you. But when we don't acknowledge him, so like it's just like somebody standing there like, here go a free meal. And back once again I'm back. Okay, so yeah, so once you recognize what it is that he wants you to do, or once you get into that place of, I won't even say it's like every time, but it's certain situations that you may find yourself in, or that you may get in, and you're like, oh, I need God for this. Or, oh, let me see what God thinks. Or, oh, let me see how God wants me to handle this. Then it becomes like first nature. You know what I mean? And it's that's how it was originally intended to be. But like I said, we get lost along the way, and depending on what happened to us, life happened to us, we do things differently, and we fall into what's habitual, or what's habit, or what's comfortable at that time, or what's been, oh, well, this is how I've been doing it for so many years. But one thing that I learned in growing and having the blessings of the Lord, just like the favor of the Lord, just like everything that I need just fall on me and just reciprocated, just be recycled in my life, has come from breaking out of what's comfortable. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable, like being in a space of where, all right, I ain't trying to do it how I've been doing it. I want to do it how it was intended to be, how it was originally designed to be. And sometimes that's not outlined directly word for word in the Bible, because I'm also kind of like sort of like an overthinker. Like I sort of take things all the way to the letter, to the T. And the letter kills, the spirit gives life. The letter kills, the spirit gives life. Like that's the spot I'm in right now. Like breaking out of religion, breaking out of, yeah, that's what it says, and it's a blueprint, but it's not per se that's how you do it. Like, for example, the Lord's Prayer. You can pray it verbatim, word for word, exactly how he prayed it, and it be impactful. But when you get the revelation of the keystones of why he was praying what he prayed, or why he said that, then that gives you a blueprint of how you should pray. Like when he says, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. He's attributing honor. He's attributing worship. He's attributing putting all his understanding into a God that is more infinite, more greater than him. More emphasis on greater. Because God lives in us. He's a part of us. When you accept him and you lean into him and you lean not to your own understanding, you become one with him. When you accept his love, when you abide in him and you abide in what he says, and you're doing what he's told you, you become one with him. So that's what I mean by that. That's when I say that. But all in the same token, like after you do that, then you're in this space, in this place of, okay, how do I apply this to my now? How do I apply this to my life? And like I said, that particular portion of the prayer, he's reverencing God. He's reverencing him and he's making him big. So you don't have to say, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You can. You don't have to, but you can. But your blueprint can be, Father, I lift you up as sovereign. Same thing, same effect. I'm reverencing him. I'm acknowledging him as being greater than all powerful. So that's what I mean by the Bible is like a blueprint, and it's not necessarily this, like line all the way up like this and like that, and to a certain extent, it's going to fit, it's going to work, it's going to go together, but it's not so much perfection. It's more of getting an understanding. And all that you get, no matter if it's knowledge, no matter if it's wisdom, no matter what it is, get an understanding in everything. Get an understanding. Because knowledge puffs up by itself. Wisdom without understanding is like, what direction do I go in? You get what you understand what I'm saying? So like, that is where I'm at right now. Like, breaking out of works. Because it doesn't matter what you, yes, faith without works is dead. Yes, that's true. Yes, I know this. But works is not what releases the peace, the joy, the love, the blessings of the Lord. You know, what really unlocks that is really like more like the faith in Him. It's more like the trust in Him. It's geared towards that than it is the works. Yes, you know, you're doing whatever it is that He's telling you to do in that moment, but it's never the same thing. It's always different. It's always dependent on what does He want me to do now. Because in one instance, He may want you to praise. In one instance, He may want you to worship. In one instance, He may want you just to obey. In one instance, He may just want you to sit back and observe. In another instance, I mean, you just gotta know Him. That comes from relationship. I'm gonna keep driving that in the hole until it's like, I just want that to resonate with you. Like, it's about relationship. It's about relationship. It don't matter how much word you get in you, knowledge puffs up. You get puffed up, ain't nothing you can do. There's nothing that you can do. But when you have knowledge coupled with wisdom that's also coupled with understanding, now you're in that space of prospering. Now you're in that space of evolving. And I will be back again with more.